Hello all, welcome to the video. Today we are going to see a Reddit horror story incident. The unsettling mystery of my family's ancestral home. I spent much of my childhood growing up in a grand old house nestled in countryside. It had been in my family for generations and held a special place in my heart. However, as I grew older, I began to notice strange occurrences happening within the wall of my home. At first, I dismissed them as nothing more than creaky floorboard and the wind blowing through the old windows. But as I grew older, the occurrence became more fluent and difficult to ignore. One summer, when I was visiting the house as an adult, I decided to spend the night alone in the house. I was curious to see if I would experience any of the strange occurrences that I remembered from my childhood. As I settled in for the night, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. I chalked it up to my imagination and tried to ignore it. But the night went on. The feeling being watched became stronger. And then I heard it, a faint whispering come from the hallway. At first, I thought it was just a wind. But the whispering grew louder, more distinct. I realized it was a voice. But not one that I recognized. It seemed to be coming from nowhere and everywhere at once. I quickly got up and walked towards the hallway. But as soon as I stepped out of the living room, the whispering stopped. I searched the entire house but found nothing. I assumed it was just my imagination playing trick on me. So I returned to the living room and locked the door. But the whispering started again. This time it was coming from. I couldn't see anyone, but I could hear the voice as clear as the day. It was then I noticed something even more unsettling. The photos in the album had started to change. Faces that were once smiled were now twisted in terror, and images that were once peaceful now showed sign of destruction. At the moment, I knew that I had to leave the house. I grabbed the things and fled into the night, never looking back. I never returned to the house since, but the memory of that night still haunted me on this day. As I reflect on the events of that night, I can't help but wonder if there was something sinister at play within the walls of my childhood home. I never shared this experience with anyone before, but sometimes that house still draws me in. I can't shake the feelings that whatever was there is still there, waiting for me to return. After this experience, I started to research the history of the house and the land it was built on. I found out that it was built in early 1800 and it has been passed down through the generation of my family. I also found out that there was rumors of strange occurrence and ghostly sighting in that area. But what really caught my attention was that the land where house was built was once a burial ground of indigenous tribe. I couldn't help but wonder if the strange occurrence and ghostly sighting were connected to this history. I contacted the local historian and he confirmed that rumors were true. He also told me that the tribe believed that the land was scared and anyone who disturbed it would be cursed. He also mentioned that few members of my family had died under mysterious circumstances over years. I couldn't help but wonder if the curse was real, if it was responsible for the strange occurrence in the house. I knew then I had to find out the truth. I decided to return the house and try to uncover the mystery. I went back to the house on the dark and stormy night, armed with flashlight and a camera. As soon as I stepped inside, the feeling of being watched returned. I could hear the whispering again, but this time it was louder and more distinct. I could feel the cold breeze even though the windows and doors were closed. I know then something was different this time. I started to explore the house, trying to find the source of the whispering. I walked through each room, taking the photos and videos, hoping to capture the evidence of strange occurrence. As I climbed the stairs, to the second floor. I hear the loud thumping noise coming from out of the bedroom. I slowly opened the door and found nothing. But as soon as I turned to leave, I felt something cold touch my shoulder. I quickly turned, but there was no one there. I was about to leave the house when I heard the voice calling my name. It was coming from the basement. I hesitated for a moment, but my curiosity got the better of me. I opened the door of the basement and started to descend the stair. As soon as I reached the bottom, I saw a figure standing in the corner. It was a woman with long dark hair and a traditional indigenous dress. She was holding a baby in her arm and crying. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed with fear. I could see the pain and sadness in her eyes. I never knew that she was a ghost of the mother who had lost her child. I quickly realized that house was built on a scared land and that I had disturbed the spirit of the tribe. I knew then that I had to leave the house and never return. I quickly gathered my things and fled into the night and never looking back. I never shared this experience with anyone before, but I felt compelled to tell the story. I hope by sharing it, others will understand the importance of respecting the land and spirit of those who became. Thank you for enjoying yourself with this story.